Hey everyone, for everyone that has been at least a little bit exposed to cryptocurrencies, you know very well that the bear markets are probably the best moments to start getting into crypto, to start investing, and you have the highest probability to add zeros to your bank account and to make significant amounts of money, whatever that number is for you. So in this video, I want to go over my entire plan, how I'm evaluating everything, pretty much my expenses, my strategies in the future, what I'm looking into, what are my daily routines, and everything that is, I think, important in order to make the most of this opportunity that we're seeing right now on the markets. This actually applies to all kinds of markets. It doesn't matter if you're in crypto or in stocks or in real estate. I think everything that we're gonna discuss can be applied very easily, but I'm going to talk specifically from the perspective of crypto. And let's actually jump right into it. There are 6 steps overall in my process, and we're going to go much deeper in detail. But before that, I just wanted to say that pretty much this whole entire process is like athletes on summer camp. You know, we have the season, let's say, from October to June, and everyone's competing about the best prices and the championship and whatever. However, what happens between June and October, the start of next season, nobody talks about. There's no cameras in the gyms when the best athletes are working out. They're preparing their bodies and they're moving to another level of their games. And if you know the best of the best athletes, like for example LeBron James, and maybe even the new stars in NBA like Luka Doncic or Ja Morant, you'll see that every year when they come into the season, they're much better than they were in the year before that. And this is how I view the bear markets in general, because nobody is talking about crypto as much as it was several months ago. Everyone's kind of afraid to invest, and currently it's quite hard to make money on the market. However, this is where really millionaires are made in these times, and that's why we need to put down the work. I've discussed this I don't know how many times already, but I will repeat it, and I will keep repeating it because I think it's the most important mantra, and I just really want more and more people to take advantage of this bear market, because I think it's going to be huge for the next 5 or 6 years. So with this little caveat and intro, let's just jump right into the separate steps, and we're gonna go into the first one, and that is, if you already have a crypto portfolio, you have to evaluate what stays and what goes, because we've already been through a bull cycle. You've probably made some gains or lost some money on some positions. You're probably back holding a lot of the tokens that didn't go according to plan. I know, because I've done this myself, and right now in the past months I've been cleaning up my portfolio, and this is an ongoing process, and I'm just gonna share with you what is my perspective, what is in my portfolio, and how I'm looking into it. And I definitely recommend you do this for your portfolio and just figure out which stays, what positions you like to hold for the long run, which ones you can cut now and just take the loss if you have a loss, or maybe take your profit if you have a run and you don't believe long term in the project that you're holding. I think the moment that you really need to evaluate absolutely everything, so that you have a clean slate during the bear market and kind of focus on several tokens that you really like and to invest in them heavily, and also actually to make space in your portfolio for all the new opportunities that potentially we'll see. Because if you have like 20 or 50 or 100 tokens in your portfolio, it's getting very difficult to manage if you're doing this on your own. So I can show you what exactly is in my portfolio right now. Just a very quick overview with percentages. So first of all, I hold Bitcoin, and let me just remove the drawings, we won't need them. Bitcoin I hold around 30% right now, and these are long-term holds for me. I'm okay with it. I'm not planning to sell it even if it goes down to, let's say, 10k. And of course, it's one of the primary candidates, I would say, for adding up to my position if we go lower or if we start forming an accumulation range. Another big chunk of my portfolio is in Ethereum, around 30%. It fluctuates obviously a lot, but let's say it's around 30%. Again, these are longer term holds for me. I've taken my cost basis and I'm okay holding through this bear market my Ethereum. The other position that is actually the biggest one right now in my portfolio is just simply cash. I have more than 30% in cash. It's probably even close to 40%, and this is cash that is sitting right now on the sidelines and it's ready to be invested in cryptocurrencies. I'm ready to invest much more than the 30% I'm mentioning right now, but that's not ready to go. So these are in different bank accounts, in stable coins, in different wallets, and so on, so on. So I would need to take several steps more in order to invest additional money, but I'm ready to do so. However, in my crypto portfolio currently, I keep only around 30 to 40% from my crypto holdings overall cash. I count them as part of my portfolio because most of this money is on different exchanges, and as I said, it's ready to go if we see some juicy setup that I want to invest in. And the remaining 5 or 6% of my portfolio currently are different altcoins. I'm holding a long-term back of Solana. I also have some DOT, and I have a bunch of other tokens, like for example 1inch, Band, have a little bit of Dodo, Alice. They're a bag of, I would say, 5 or 6 currencies that I'm holding, and I'm really down on those, like probably like 70 to 90% on average. I'm down on those positions, and I'm still holding them because first of all, they're a very small percentage of my portfolio, and yes, I'm down, but monetary wise it's not that big. And second of all, right now I don't really have a compelling reason to sell them. Obviously you can just sell and forget because they could still go lower, or if you really believe in them, you can hold them and even add to these positions to bring your cost average down and potentially make money with this. Example of this would be Alice. Although it's really down, this is a game and it's still not released, and it has been postponed already very many times, but if there's a trigger at some point that this game gets released, potentially we might see the token really blowing up. And that's why I decided that I want to hold these. Some of them I'll probably cut very soon actually, but as I said, they're just a very small percentage of my portfolio, so nothing to worry about for me and no immediate actions that I need to take. If you have a back of a single altcoin, which is like 10% of your crypto portfolio, that's a different percentage, so you might have to consider what you want to do with it and take the decision, whatever that would be. So pretty much this is the first phase, and this is where I have started several months ago and where I just put a lot of energy and effort to evaluate what I want to stay and what I want to go. I don't think it's too late to go through this process. Already the time is ticking and we're getting in the depths of the bear market. We still could get lower, but I think with all the things that are on this list, really the time is shrinking right now, and we really need to act and think about all of the things, all of the steps that we're going to discuss. And this brings me to the next one actually, which is to evaluate your sources of income. I've done this from the beginning of this year, but I'm still constantly looking for new ways to diversify my income. Currently, I have around 6 different streams of income and they vary completely. So one of them is my base salary because I'm employed. I have a full-time job. And the others vary. I could have one that is just $200 per month. I have others in the thousands, and I'm still looking for other income sources. This is very crucial, especially for the next step. But if you don't have different sources of income, this is what can happen. We might go into a deep recession, and imagine you lose your job, or expenses continue going up like they are right now with inflation, or maybe you're in a country that is losing purchasing power against the dollar. These are all factors that you need to take into consideration, and always try to have more and more cash on hand coming every single month, because later this will fuel your investment and trading vehicle. So if you haven't done this, think of different separate sources of income and just try to find different places to make money. Pretty much it's, straightforward. I don't think it's too late to do so. I think there's still so many opportunities out there to make money, either on your own through investing or offering some kind of services or skills, or simply by finding a second job or whatever. There's a huge demand for workforce still. Employment hasn't really skyrocketed, and even from my personal experience as an employer, I can tell you we're constantly looking for people, and everywhere I go there are still job openings that cannot be filled. So just if you do the work, that will give you huge advantage when the worst time comes. And even if they don't, you'll still have a lot more money to invest in these type of environments. And this brings me actually to the next step, and I want to show you something. The next step is pretty much how much of your income you can dedicate to investing. But before you actually get to this number, I have this type of annual budget that I do every single year. And if you want to have this kind of table, I can just send it to you. So let me know. This is an old one for me. It's like from 2018, but the numbers are real, and I pretty much track every single dollar that I spent and also all the income that is coming to me. And once I know this, and if you don't know this, I think this is really very, very important to do. Once I know this, I know first of all my rate of saving, so I know how much money I'm saving every single month. I know how much are my expenses. Also, I know how much money I'm spending on different things that I could probably cut, which at the end of the day will leave me with a balance for investing. And if I just show you a summary, this is for 2018, I think you'll be able to use this table first of all to track all your income and expenses, and then on average for that year you can see this was my monthly expense for whatever business, entertainment, every day. And then for investing, on average I was investing a lot more compared on my average monthly expenses on all the other categories. That's why I think it's very, very important to do so, because usually it's not easy to just have a big amount of money and invest it into the markets. And even if you have this, I don't think it's that wise, simply because, the markets could still go down. And if you have an increased income from the previous point that we discussed, and also you're very good at managing your income sources and of course managing your expenses, you'll be able to dedicate every single month a little bit more money towards investing. Or in other words, you'll be able to dollar cost average into the different opportunities that you are going to be seeing on the markets. And obviously here, without too much going into detail, you need to track what are your credits, or if you have any kind of debt that's not healthy, maybe you need to take care of it first. If you're spending, for example, too much money on entertainment or on travel, which is something that I do really spend a lot of money on, but I actually enjoy it and I'm not ready to cut it. However, I did cut other expenses. Like, for example, at some point this year, I had 3 cars, and one of them was like an everyday car, that pretty much did all the job. The other 2 were like second car of the family, and the third was like just for fun. I decided that I'm not driving them enough and I don't have enough time, and they don't give me that much pleasure to invest additional $500 or $600 every single month on those type of expenses. And that's why I actually got rid of those cars, and now I'm stuck with just 1 car, which is totally fine. And my goal is that I want to increase my rate of saving and potentially increase my rate of investing money in the future. So, this is an entire process. I'm pretty sure there are a lot of books on the subject that you have read already, or that are popular books. And it's very, very important to do this, because I'm telling you, like for last year, for example, I didn't do this table completely, and I wasn't tracking any kind of expenses or incomes, and I definitely wasn't really good at managing my finances. So this was a mistake on my part, but from this year on, I continued doing this, and definitely it has been a game changer. So once you have all these variables of the equation, so you have increased your income, you're tracking all of your expenses, and you know how much money out of them you want to save and how much you want to invest every single month or dedicate into investing. It's not a given that you need to invest them right away. The next step that you need to do is to start improving your skills. It doesn't matter if you're watching this video and you're a complete beginner into crypto, or if you have some experience. There are always ways to improve your skills. Always. And the favorite couple, or actually 3 ways for me to improve my skills is, first of all, by reading books and actually rereading a lot of the books, because some of the books are just like manuals or handbooks for how to deal with your emotions, for example, or how to trade, or different setups, and all those different things. And you need to read them several times in order to be able to master everything that they're talking about and find new things. And as you progress as a trader, you actually see different things and probably different mistakes that you have made, and it will hit differently every single time that you get back to this resource. And the other 2 ways that I really like to improve my skills is either via online courses or videos, or being part of communities that give me some value. And then the third one is obviously through practice. So just take different trades, research new projects, and just learn overall as much as possible about the space. When it comes to books, I have already probably mentioned these books, but one that I think it's very, very valuable is The Mental Game of Trading by Jared Tendler. I think it's a great handbook. He has very simple explanations of key concepts, and also there's the so-called mental hand history, which really helps you to get to the bottom of whatever problem that you're facing. So this is definitely one of the best books out there. Another one that is older is Trading in the Zone by Mark Douglas. This overall will help you understand, the mentality and the biases that we fall under. And there are many other books out there. Another one that I read recently is The Art of Execution. This is a very short and sweet book and gives perfect examples of the most common mistakes that bad traders do, and also very good traders, and their best stories and best practices is explained in this book. I think it's a great book, and definitely I'm gonna reread it. The other 2, I actually decided to reread them this year again, and definitely it has been very helpful, especially in the times of the bear market. And if you actually go to The Mental Game of Trading and you click into financial risk management, you'll have this page, and these are pretty much the best sellers in this category. And definitely you can look into these books and pick more books depending on what stage you are at and what you're interested in. But for example, The Black Swan for me is a must, and then Skin in the Game by Nassim Taleb are both books I think are very, very good books about generally understanding the markets and what problems you'll be facing fighting your brain and your emotions. Another part of this is, as I mentioned, just trading, and I have taken a few trades, and I've mentioned before that I'm learning to become better at shorting, because I think we have a lot of opportunities to short. And usually I haven't put a lot of effort into shorting the markets, but this is the one that I'm really focusing and just taking different trades. Like for example, one we discussed was Vulcan Forge, which wasn't a great trade for me, but still it was a great learning experience. And if you go through this process and if you dedicate some of the money that you have saved as market tuition or as online course payments, to the market, and just trade with them, test different strategies that you learn about, I think this is probably the best way to learn, because there's no replacement for experience. And whenever there's money on the line and you have the chance to make or lose money, these are the best lessons that you learn in your life. That's, I think, a law, and it applies pretty much for everything, not just for crypto. The next thing on the list is getting actually into the markets and finding new opportunities. So you have the money to invest, you have diversified your income, so you're protected, and then you have learned and you're improving your skills and so on. But then you need to find the best opportunities in the markets in order to make money, because let's face it, that's that's why we are here. That's why we want to invest in crypto. It's not because we really believe in the blockchain and that's the future. It's simply because we all want to make money, and there's nothing wrong with this. But first we need to find the best tokens, or at least according to our research, that we want to invest and make money from. And there are several ways to do this. I already discussed this last week in one of my videos, but today I want to touch on a very simple way to actually find projects to invest in. And that's simply if you go to Masari and CoinMarketCap. I think these are very important websites that everyone in crypto should use. If you go to Masari and if you just see by market cap, which are the bigger ones, and let's say you really like Polkadot and what they're doing and their ecosystems of parachains and so on. If you click to Polkadot, first of all, you're going to be able to see, let me just zoom in a little bit. On profile, there's very good summary of this project and what it's about and so on, so on. So you can do fundamental research even on this website. But then if you want to go deeper and if you want to find new projects and potentially invest in them, if you go a little bit further down, you'll be able to see that first of all, you see the peers and smart contract platforms in this case. So you might go through those, and potentially there are 6 pages. So you can go a little bit down the list, check out the market caps and so on. However, if you're really into the Polkadot ecosystem, you can click here because you have also Polkadot ecosystem, and then you can research which are the best projects from this list and potentially, of course, invest in them if you really like. Once you get general understanding of the ecosystem and you have gone through, let's say, 15 of the best projects on this list, you have a pretty good understanding of what is good, what is bad, and what you want to put your money into. Obviously, this takes time, but I think it's one of the best ways to kind of make money in the long term in crypto, because combining this with technical analysis, and definitely if you don't have any kind of skills on technical analysis, this is also one of the things that you need to invest in time to learn. Combine it with technical analysis, fundamental analysis, especially in bear markets, can be extremely powerful. And if we go to CoinMarketCap, you can do also exactly the same thing, but in a little bit different way. Let me just give you the example of Matic, which is pretty much a layer 2 scaling solution for Ethereum, which I think are going to be quite big in the future. So here on tax, let me again just zoom it a little bit. Here you can see on the profile of Matic, you have the tags from CoinMarketCap, and if you can click view all, these are all the tags that apply for Matic. And if you click on any of those, so let's say we click on scaling, you'll be able to see the competitors of Matic. In this case, this is layer 2 solutions. And if you go over them, and again, the lower down the list that you go, the lower the market cap and potentially the bigger the returns that you can make. This is where you need to put enough hours into researching these tokens, and also potentially tokens that are still not on the market but are going to be joining this space. So if you have the time to invest and research, I think you can really find some gems in this niche specifically, or in pretty much any other niche. It might be gaming and NFTs. I think this one also is going to be quite big. It might be DeFi. I think this will also have another cycle of a bull run. So it's all up to you. You have to know what are your preferences, what you're good at, what you're bad at, and maybe not all of these lists are interesting to you. So if you're into gaming, just go and research gaming. I'm pretty sure there are more than one opportunities to make a lot of money in the next bull cycle. So don't be stressed out. There's a lot of tokens out there in the thousands. And I'm pretty sure that if you just focus even on just one industry, you'll be able to find the gems, and you'll have competitive advantage over all the other people that are not doing research and just wait for someone to tell them, yeah, buy this token or that token or whatever. So this is the 5th step. And the final one, the 6th one, that kind of binds it all together, is that you need to stay engaged with the markets. And how you can do this? It's actually very simple. Just every single day, this is part of my routine. I go on TradingView, I open up pretty much all the tokens, I look at their charts that are on my wish list here. I see if there's some patterns developing. I constantly add or remove tokens. I go into general markets, so I will look into oil, what's happening with oil. I'll look into the S&P and the Nasdaq and track what's going on there. I'm also going to open different websites to read about the news. I need to know if the Fed is raising the interest rates or if the UK is deciding to devaluate their currency. These are all things and moving pieces of the whole puzzle. And once you have your hand on the pulse of the market every single day and you keep reading about the project, you just start accumulating knowledge which later on it will pay out. I'm telling you, this has happened already several times, and I think the opportunity that we're having with this bear market is a unique one because it doesn't happen every year or even every few years, and this is really where people make a lot of money. So make sure you don't disengage with the market. Actually increase your rate of engaging. Just keep tracking everything that's going on, keep improving your skills, also keep improving your finances. This is very, very important, and in the long term I think it's not that hard following those steps to increase your net income and also your net worth and add zeros to your bank account. That's everything for this video. I hope it was helpful. For me, it was really fun to share my views and to really kind of show you my process that I'm going through even right now. And if you have any questions, you know how to find me.